Welcome to week one. This is a light week for a couple of reasons. First, there's always a good deal of late enrollment, and I like to design this initial week so that students coming in late don't miss too much. But overall, the intent behind this week's assignments is to begin to set expectations. There is generally always something due each week of this semester, so I want the class to become routinized to spending time each week working on this course, either in reading assigned material and discussing it in the forums, or taking weekly quizzes and other, on the assigned material and doing tests and things like that. It's never a good idea to take a week off with online courses. This week we're beginning the process of acclimating ourselves to thinking like a social scientist. And one of the first things I want you to understand is the distinction between a scientific and a non-scientific question. The authors cite the old historical chestnut in 1492, Columbus, we all know the answer to that is sailed the ocean blue. This is not an illustration of a scientific question, and really, what we're going to talk about this week is why. Why is that not a good question for those of us who want to study political behavior or human behavior scientifically? So we want to talk about the distinction between questions that help us frame the systemic research of human behavior, and why asking the right kinds of questions is so important to getting to the right kinds of answers. In addition to the introductory chapter, the text, I have an assigned reading from Francis Fukuyama entitled "The Necessity of Politics." Too often we Americans, and even those of us who are interested in politics, embrace implicitly anti-political perspectives, and a lot of times we assume that we can somehow reform ourselves away from bad things, and certainly we do that, and we try to do that. But the reality is that politics is messy, and this article is kind of intended to correct the impression that somehow we can do without politics. And particularly in those instances, politics is going to impact us, whether we like it or not. And to no small extent, politics is a lot like the fine print that we tend to gloss over when we're making a purchase of a cell phone or something like that. The devil is in the details, and too many of us are indifferent to details. If you haven't gotten your textbook yet, I have posted chapter 1 as a PDF, which can be found in on the week 1 course resources link. Please refer to that link quite frequently. The PDF of the Fukuyama chapter is also there. There is also a study guide and a PowerPoint of chapter 1, so please be sure to use those resources. In terms of graded assignments, there is just the forum and the week 1 quiz, which also has questions drawn from the syllabus. So make sure that you have a copy of the syllabus handy when you take the quiz. I'd also like to alert you that there is your first writing assignment that's due at the end of week 2. So I would begin thinking about that. The article can be found again on the week 2 course resources link. And this is an assignment that is about ethnocentrism, the fact that we are to some extent trapped within the confines of our own culture, our own language, our own ways of understanding things, and how do we pierce that ethnocentrism to have a more accurate understanding of other cultures. So anyway, that's what we got going on this week. Again, I'm suggesting that you read forward a little bit and start thinking about how you're going to approach that writing assignment. Let's have a great week.